What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and this week on our weekly Indie Newcomer, we're going to be taking a look at Tim Schafer's space-based DF-9, one of the newest games being released by W.I.N Productions, who are quite famous in the indie genre. In fact, they are the success story of the last 3 or 4 years, putting out a bunch of great games, and this week it is their turn. We're going to talk about why their little space-based simulator is so great. So, without further ado, let's jump in and create a new base, and we'll talk about why I like this game so much. Space-based DF-9 is one of those games that sort of just grows on you. In many ways, the game really wants to be like Dwarf Fortress or Nemoria, just in space, and I think it really is kind of a modern twist on those sorts of games. So it's got all the things you would expect from a modern game, in that it has a nice UI, it has all of those little things, you have characters that interact with one another, and of course it's worth saying before we go any further into this episode that it is very bare bones right now. This game released a little while ago, I'd say 5 months, 4 months ago maybe, and right now it's on its 3rd iteration of its alpha, so it's in alpha 3 right now, which means 2 alphas ago was its most bare bones form that you could possibly see. As of right now, they have added some features, but this game is a lot like Dwellers in that in a lot of ways, the game is sort of like a tech demo right now. There's not a ton of stuff to do, there's not a ton of stuff to occupy yourself with, but with the groundwork that they have in, and plus the fact that it's being done by W.I.N, I have a lot of faith in this game, and I think it is going to turn out very, very good in the next couple years, or turn out very well, I suppose, if I wanted to be super grammatically accurate. Let's choose the star system that we want to be in first. I think I'll go right here. So this spot is average stellar density. That means that the mining nodes that you're mining from will give you a little bit more resources, or an average amount of resources. Warp gate proximity, I think proximal means that there's going to be a few more people coming in. That's basically the speed at which you generate new colonists. Threat factor is low, which is how many pirates and raiders and things like that. And then magnetic interference, I don't really know what that does. I'm going to be super fair right there and just kind of wash my hands of it. We'll choose this spot, and let's launch our mission here. Cute Zone 2529. Suppose it's just like Pikachus and kittens floating around everywhere, and that's why they named it as such. Accept. Let us deploy. And so now it's going to take a little bit of time, and it's going to generate our map for us. Every time we do this, it is sort of randomly generated. You do get this presentation where it says it takes you like 300,000 years to get there. I don't really know the truth of that, but once we get here, you'll see the starting aspects of our civilization. So we start with 3 miners, all of whom are 3 space colonists. They don't have jobs yet. I take that back. I take it back completely. We have 3 colonists who have 8 minutes of oxygen, and we need to build a base before they suffocate. We'll take a look around the map here. You can pause on the fly, and as you can see, there's not a whole lot going on as of yet. Now, as the game goes on, there will be spaceships that will dock, there will be derelicts, there will be raiders ships that we've destroyed the raiders that are just kind of floating around. This area will accumulate debris and require constant deconstruction as we move our way through the game. First and foremost, though, what we want to do is we want to start construction. We start with 2,000 matter, and what's really odd here is that our space capsule didn't deploy. So normally, there's a little capsule right here, and you can deconstruct it to get some extra resources. I think it deployed in the wall, which means we're going to be functioning with way less resources than we normally would be. Minus 500, as I think, so this could be a little bit more stressful than normal. Let's create a little room, and it's just going to be a, I guess, 3x3. I think that's about the best we're going to be able to do given our current predicament, having less resources than we would normally have. So let's get them going, and we're going to start time up, and what you'll see, we need to assign workers too. So let's go to our roster list up here in the left-hand corner and give everybody jobs. We've got Cheesiness, Araf, and Harvey Runsitter. I'm going to assign Cheese Eater. Everybody's going to be, let's put everybody on Builder for now because we need to make good time. We've got 8 minutes until everyone suffocates and dies, and our game is over. You'll see that their spacesuits have changed colors to Construction Orange, meaning that they are fully suited up and ready to begin working. So we'll give that just a moment, and they'll put the walls in. We can speed the game up a little bit further if we really wanted to fly. There it is. What we can do is we can pause the moment that's done, and we want to designate this. Let's pause it, we'll click on that, and we can designate it as whatever room we want by clicking the center of the room. You'll see that it has no oxygen inside of it. We're going to call it an airlock, and it'll actually change the configuration of the inside, make it look a little bit different compared to normal generic halls. Because we don't like those generic halls, they make our space colonists sad, and they make them off themselves with space nooses. What I've learned from this game is that you can put space in front of any object, space plant, space TV, and it automatically changes theme and becomes part of space. Let's construct an object here. We're going to need 2 airlocks in order for this room to function properly. Oh, I didn't do it right. Let's go ahead and doors, and we want airlock doors. There they are. So we'll put an airlock door in right there. And we'll put an airlock door in right there. And the other thing we need for our airlock to function properly is we need spacesuit racks. Can't just drop them on the floor, that makes Mom angry. So let's go over to our airlock and we can do a spacesuit locker. And we're gonna put one of those in because we only need one right now and we're low on resources. So let's get her done. You'll see them fly off, he'll construct that door. And then somebody should build that spacesuit rack, there it is. And so now we need new rooms. Let's go ahead and go back to our construction menu, go to room. And over here, I think I'll go with maybe like a 3. How much is that gonna cost me? 246? Let's go with just a little room like that for now because we gotta get our life support going. So there it is, they'll go ahead, and what I do like about this game is that you don't have to kind of frustrate yourself with building floors and building walls and making sure everything connects. You just drag and drop and you get a room of that size, period. That's one of the benefits of it being in space. Now I do hope that they decide to add in layered bases as time goes along, make things a little bit more interesting. I'll keep my fingers crossed for that addition in the future, but as of right now, it's kind of mean to make any predictions, or it's mean to be like, I would like this, because the fact of the matter is the game is really hardly developed at all in its own standing. Let's go ahead and make a room for our life support. And so off it goes. We'll go ahead and turn the game back on, and they'll get on that. This room is going to hold our oxygen scrubbers, which are important because aliens like breathing. As much as you might like to doubt it, this game does not have a whole lot of humans in it, but everybody breathes oxygen in space for some reason. I suppose for convenience's sake. Now that that's done, we want to do another one on the opposite side for something else, which is going to be our fabricator, which is going to allow us to get, let's see here, we can do 1 matter refinery. Well, let's make that minimum sized then, because I don't really see the... Okay, so there's our 1 refinery right there. So we'll get that going. Our base is going to be oblong for now. It's not going to be one of those perfect bases that is all symmetrical and everything else. We're just going to leave it as is. We don't care about symmetry for now. And then we also want to put in doors so that they can get in between these locations. They should have, let's see how much oxygen they have left. 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Okay. And the you can look at what they're talking about too. It's got their thoughts over here in their personal log. It says, I don't think people like me on my last space base assignment. This is my chance for a fresh start. The oxygen in the spacesuit is a little gamey. Gotta keep moving, must keep negative body image feelings at bay. There's just, you never know what's gonna pop up in here, and even the monsters that attack your base have their own little thoughts that are kind of humorous, that are like, destroy, consume, breathes heavily, like stuff like that. This game has a lot of humor in it. It's a typical Double Fine production where every single part of the game just sort of oozes style and panache. As soon as we get that room up, we're gonna go and build some more stuff. We need life support for now, so let's designate this life support. As we sit here, you'll see that it changes a tad. And this room right here is gonna be a refinery room so that we can get ourselves some more materials. Let's construct objects, and the first thing we want are some oxygen recyclers or scrubbers. So we'll get those in there. There they are. And then the next thing we're gonna wanna build is a matter fabricator so that we can mine out some of these asteroids and get more matter up here in the top right corner to build more stuff, because we've kind of hit an impasse. We're low on matter because we weren't able to deconstruct the pod we got here in. So let's go to, let's see, the refinery, and we'll drop that in place. There it is, and let's get everybody going. I don't think they're gonna desuit for all this because there's no oxygen deploy, but what you'll see is if we go over in an unzoned area, you'll see the oxygen is slowly filling up in here, which means they will take off their suits, and now they're gonna walk around. Let's slow the action down a tad. They'll walk around in their normal suits, just kind of being happy, running in circles, cheering, eating food, and doing all that fun stuff. Now, what we need to do at this point is what you'll see is that our capacity up here at the top right corner is at 3 of 6. That's right, you get more civilians for each one of these scrubbers you build, so now we're open for immigrants to come and join us at this location. Let's turn speed back on, and we need to assign somebody to be a miner. We don't have anybody, oh we do, we have Arif. Arif is good at mining. These guys are terrible at building those, so maybe I'll go with him. Let's assign 2 miners for now. I think that's about the best we're gonna be able to do with what we have. We'll get some more citizens pretty soon. And we want to assign them to mine. So let's get them going, wiping out this entire block of space so that we can get a ton more matter to play with. We've confirmed the order, we've turned time back on, and you will see them jump back into their spacesuits. They should go back outside. This disc-headed buggy creature, I don't even know. His head's sort of flat. Looks like somebody dropped a brick on his head. Is that xenophobic? I don't know. I'm not very good at space etiquette right now. I've never lived in the confines of a diverse civilization. So I was trying to come up with a word right there. I'm like, I must make up a word right now. Xenodiverse. That's your word for the day. Now what this object does right here is everything that they mine from over here, they'll bring it back, drop it off in here, and it'll convert it into generic matter that we can turn into food, we can turn into buildings. It kind of makes you wonder how good the food must be if you can just take generic matter and turn it both into a wall and into a burger, but we're not going to discuss that right now. I'm going to continue also expanding out this hallway. That looks off-center to me. Hold on, let me see what's going on here. Sometimes I have trouble seeing where things are at. There it is. So we're going to call that right there. Let's kind of expand that out a little bit further. It's going to cost us $350. That's all right. I'll take it. And what I'm going to do is we'll cancel this over here. So under the construction menu, you can go erase, and we'll get rid of those two. That's not what I wanted. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. So frustrations of building. We're going to cancel that whole thing. It'll refund us. And then we'll get back in here, and this time I'll try not to be a screw up when I do this. There we are. And so we had it at 350. There we are, nice and confirmed. Luckily we didn't lose any time. Our construction worker should jump back into a spacesuit, and while we start mining over in this region, he should run around the horn, and it's going to take a while longer for him to build anything, simply because he's all by his lonesome. There is no one else beside him. There's no one left to deride him. It says, greeting and salutations. We are looking for a place to crash for a while. Do you have good defenses aboard? We have journeyed too long without proper rest. We no longer want to travel. We heard you had a surplus of matter. Is that true? Sounds interesting. Please let us in. Now, they could be raiders. You seem a little shifty, we can deny them, but we need more civilization people, so let's bring it on in. And it looks like we've got one new guy, Milena Sato. What is she good at? Let's take a look at our roster. She's unassigned. It looks like she is terrible at everything we need her to be good at, which is namely building. But she's going on the build crew nonetheless because we have lots of building to get done. We can reassign her in just a moment. I'll talk about the jobs as we get closer towards the end of the episode because we're probably not going to be able to showcase everything that DF-9 has available at the moment. But how the game functions as of this time is that you're sort of in a race against colonists. So you'll receive new colonists every now and again, and you're trying to create the facilities they need before you get another bulk of colonists. And that includes needing more oxygen, needing more sleeping localities. Essentially, the game gets super out of control with you just building like crazy, tons of immigrants coming in. It gets very, very hectic. We need to build a door right here. So we'll drop that in place. We'll also put one right there for our future constructions. I'll put a door right there, and maybe a door right there and right there. Fantastic. I do like the little ruler tool that's attached to everything. You see those white lines? I like those. They help me keep things lined up. Let's turn the time back on. And once those doors are in place, we'll build some of our new facilities. For now, you don't have to worry too much about people being sucked out into space. When I first started playing the game, I was really, really concerned that my guys would get sucked out into space through the airlocks. Right now, there are safeguards in place so people can't enter and exit the airlocks at the same time so that that exact situation doesn't happen. These doors go red the instant you build them so that people don't go through them and get sucked out into space. Sort of a safety precaution. Over here, let's finish off this room. I don't know what I'm going to put in there, but we'll do it for both of these. We'll keep them lined up. That's going to be a minus 900 build, but we've got plenty of miners on hand, so it should work out okay. I think this room we're just going to put in more scrubbers. It's you. OMZ, I can't. It's you. We finally found you. We've been searching for ages. Protracted giggling. Ehe. Okay, serious now. Ready to come aboard. Great. I don't see how this could possibly go wrong. We're going to be best buds forever. Oh, good. And we've got one new guy there who is already showing off his space powers by going underneath everything. There it is. I knew our seed pod would be there. What do we want him to be? Let's go to our roster and we'll decide on our job for our new enthusiastic friend. He can be a miner, which means I'm actually going to shift him over to be a constructor, and then we'll have him be a miner. There are other things we can make: botanist, bartender, security, technician. Let's go turn by turn. So technician, what he does is he fixes all the mechanical stuff in your base. It does break down over a time. If I mouse over anything like a door or a scrubber, it'll have its quality or how good of shape it's still in. They fix that. They make that all better. Security, they kind of hang out around your base with assault rifles and threaten people into submission. They also protect you from anybody that might try and board your base and attack you, which is important because later on there's going to be space bugs, raiders, pirates, and everything else. The bartender cooks food for all of your people. Once you've got yourself a pub, he serves drinks, makes people happier, gives small talk, all of those little things that your local alcoholic dispensary personnel do. The botanists, they help grow food, they make gardens, things of that nature. Unassigned, they do nothing. They lollygag and they make everybody else jealous. Let's get time running one more time. I don't mean to be punny right there. And we'll get our base dug in. Alright, so even at max speed, this is going to take us a little bit of time, but it's alright, namely because we're out of matter right now. Our matter is completely and totally gone. The good thing is we did find our base seed pod, so we can break that down in just a second, get maybe 500 matter out of that. That'll be a super sweet. A little bit more matter, huh? Shove them rocks into our unit. Yeah, nothing better than rubbing a rock on your unit. I'm a geologist, can you tell? Let's continue. Yeah, they're continuing. I mean, I'm trying to find stuff. The other thing that I'd like to discuss, I mean, there are a number of pros and cons here with this game, so obviously we'll do what, since there's construction going on, I'll do what I would normally do at the end, kind of interspersed. Right now, I want to assign this as maybe a garden, just so you guys can see what the garden looks like. Anyways, so there are going to be a number of things that I would warn you about before playing this game. First and foremost, content comes on a monthly basis. Hey wimps, guess we're coming in to kick your butts. Do you have any good stuff in there? If so, cool, but really we're mainly in this for the butt kicking. We can say, on the contrary, my non-friend friends, it is you whose butts will be kicked. And so now what's going to happen is that guy right there is a raider. Since we don't have any security, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reassign everybody to security. And they're going to drop what they're doing, and hopefully they'll fight back and kill this guy. He's going to try and come in through the airlock. That tends to be their standard MO. They added these guys in the last patch, which you'll see right there is a gun battle, which ended up with one of Chief. Oh, they killed each other. So it was one of those situations where they had a Mexican standoff. They both stood there and went blast and killed each other instantaneously. These things will happen. You'll lose civilians every now and again. It's nothing to get bent out of shape about. Let's demolish that so we can get some more matter. And let's reassign our jobs. So we lost cheesiness, which is weak. We'll have a builder. We do need a miner. We don't need too many miners, though. We'll put her, yeah, we'll leave her as security for now. And once we get a few more immigrants, we'll get ourselves a botanist. We'll talk about what that does. So anyways, as I was saying, the game is currently only on its third major patch. Patches do drop around the middle of each month. It is on a 30-day patch cycle, and they've been very consistent about this as the game's been going along. They've dropped one almost every single month around the 15th, and it's been content rich. So you get a new room every single time, you'll get new gameplay mechanics, and they'll also fix a bunch of the bugs that you have to deal with. However, that being the case, there's only been 3 patches, so the game is content light right now. I think I got about 5 hours of gameplay out of the game before I really was just like, alright, so I feel like I've run out of everything and I'm just sort of waiting for things to go wrong now. And I think at the price the game is currently running, it's not quite at the level content-wise where it's going to be worth the cost. I think it's sitting somewhere around $12.99 right now. I'll have it down in the description. But it is a good game in the making, so if you understand that the game is an alpha, I wouldn't detract from you buying it if you absolutely have to have the latest spacefaring simulator. There's not a lot of these games going around right now. I mean, right, you've got Dwarf Fortress, you've got Nomoria, you've got Space Base, you've got Isomer, but beyond that, there's not a ton of games that are really trying to do the full-on simulator where each character has their own personality, each character has their own needs, everybody's doing their own things. There's not a lot of those civilization simulators out right now, and so if you really just need to have a fix, I would go with this game, but just be aware that it's rudimentary at the moment. The game does function, there are different rooms that do different things, people can get killed by different threats, you can invade other little spaceships that float around. There is stuff to do, but you will run out within your first like 3 to 7 hours, so just be aware of that. Beyond that, the game is fun, and I see the groundwork right now for a game that's going to be fantastic in the future. I don't like hedging my bets on things that aren't good as of yet, but that's what Weekly Indie Newcomer is all about. Weekly Indie Newcomer, I like to pick a game that I've liked in the indie genre, whether it's fully released or whether it's an alpha, and just sort of talk about it. And so those are really the little things that I'd be concerned about. Let's get back to building some objects. We've got enough matter, so for the garden we can build hydroponics cultures. Let's do that. We'll build a couple of those, and so that's going to cost us 600. And what I'm going to do is in this little preliminary hallway, I'm going to put in a couple of generic objects for all zones. A food replicator, those are important because your guys have nowhere to eat right now. They're all walking around starving at the moment and they need food. So once the food replicators are built, people will feed themselves with junk food, whatever. Now if you look down here, they will have little conversations and they'll think about what they're doing. And let me see if I can catch a conversation here when I'm not in fast forward mode. They're all eating their soy bars or whatever the hell it is you eat in space. I don't know. I would assume it's like soy bars. So they say, greetings, Gufo, Ofo. I don't even know what that means. Gofu Ofu, I'm not really sure what it is. It might be a foodstuff. They're talking about if you get a little arrow pointing down, it means they don't like it. If they have an arrow pointing up, it's like The Sims. They make themselves happier. They're talking about space motherboards now. As I was saying, you could put space in front of any object in this game, and it will instantly become interesting to all of the denizens because it's from space all of a sudden. Now, there are a couple things to be aware of. We could get hit by asteroids sometime soon. We don't have jobs running either, so maybe I should do that. Let's construct another little set of roomage here. There we are. We'll confirm it because we've got plenty of matter. We can install alarms. There's some other things we can do. If we put in an alarm right here, we can have people clear out the room when we set off the alarm. It also makes security automatically show up. Is everybody assigned properly right now? Miner, builder, security. Okay, everybody's looking okay. We don't have a botanist yet. Let's wait for our next round of space immigrants. Spimmigrants, as I like to call them. An incoming ship has been spotted. It will arrive in a couple of minutes. Fantastic. We also need technicians. Things are going to start breaking on us pretty soon, and I don't want to run out of oxygen. Yeah, our oxygen recyclers are looking sketchy at best. Alright, so we got the same giggling alien race. I don't know what they are. I don't know where that came from either. Let's erase that really rapidly. And we've got a new individual, so let's jump into our roster. What is he good at? Technicianing, exactly. That's precisely what we need at this moment, so let's put him on technician duty. And what he'll basically do is he'll have sort of a blue technician, or he'll have a science outfit. He'll walk around and he'll repair stuff. It's very Star Trek-y in that respect. Some people have red shirts, some people have blue shirts. They've sort of gone along with the theme of a lot of various pop culture references, things of that nature. Why are my constructors just sort of... Oh, they were talking... Gofu Ofu's a person. So basically they were talking about how much he hates himself, and the guy he was talking to was talking about how much he hates him. Lovely. Looks like everybody's getting along already. What more could you ask for in a spacefaring society other than everybody arguing and hating each other already? We have one builder right here who's like refusing to do anything useful. He's more or less just kind of being a social butterfly. He's doing crunches. He's got to work on his space abs so that space women will get down with him at the space club. You know, space, space, space. Insert Abbott and Costello level space puns here and there every now and again. Now, as your base gets built, we're gonna need more scrubbers here. You will notice that oxygen starts to diminish, which is bad because space people love space breathing. So, for the interest of what is this? Please help. We have a system virus on our ship. It pops ads up all over our star map software, and we can't figure out how to turn it off. We don't have a technician. We've been traveling aimlessly for an embarrassing amount of time. Our matter is almost depleted and would like to abandon our vessel in order to aboard your base. Of course, we need more people. And so... Oh no, bad luck. So essentially what may happen... Yeah, so if the space shuttle stops at a location of your base where it's underneath, it won't deploy your space citizens, which makes me space sad and makes me cry space tears. Unfortunately, well, it says we got somebody. Let's have a look. Oh, we did. I don't know where they're at, but Chagra Agra. He said they said they had no technician, but he's got maxed out technician skills, so they must be frontin'. Let's see, we've got another security guy, but I don't think we're going to go for that. We'll go for a botanist since we don't have one yet. The thing you want to note about these skills is they do level up. So as they do these jobs, they get better at them, up to I think 10 stars, at which point they become basically the Chuck Norris or the Bruce Lee of whatever job it is that they're currently doing. They're basically doing it with their eyes closed. They're slowing time down in order to mine better, pulling like a Neo Matrix type deal, bending over backwards to dodge asteroids coming in at them. You get the picture. So as of right now, I think we haven't covered everything the game has to offer. I want to point that out. We've only done like 25 minutes of a preliminary look at this game. It is fun. It is a game that I would recommend. Just be aware that they're patching monthly and there's not a lot of content right now. If you're interested in space-based DF-9, you can get it on Steam. I'll put it in the comments down below. This is one of those projects that I feel deserves attention and is going in a good place simply because Double Fine tends to do a really good job with the games they produce. I'm a big fan of Double Fine's, and as such, I decided to plug their game during the course of this week's Friday Weekly Indie News. I will see you guys next week. Take care out there, everybody. I recommend Space-Based DF-9. I'll drop the name one more time. And if you're interested in a good 3 to 6 hours worth of fun and then waiting on patches, it is the game for you. Take care, and I will see you next time. Hi-do, everybody.